Hi, I'm Mike from Siemens Digital Industry Software, and today we're focusing on the June 2023 release of NX. Our continuous release cycle is driven by what we hear from you, the user. New functionality added for this release of NX makes it the best yet and will enable your team to work better and faster. In this video, we'll be taking a look at NX Render and Advanced Visualization. High-quality visualization is an incredibly important part of the design process, enabling design teams to cut down on expensive physical prototypes, create compelling marketing material, and speed up decision-making in the design process. NX Render achieves this by allowing you to integrate a higher level of visual fidelity into the digital twin and get more value for money from your engineering data. Often, engineering firms will outsource this kind of specialized work to external agencies, which adds cost, takes time, and drastically lengthens the gap between product iterations. NX Render, however, utilizes unbiased path tracing to achieve photorealistic imagery with simple setup and accurate results, all within the NX CAD workspace. We'll show you how to use these powerful integrated tools to take our coffee machine from looking like this to this. You'll also see how to use NX's Appearance Manager to make several material variations without having to repeat the entire process for each render. While going through an optimal workflow to make the coffee machine ready for design review, we'll cover adding and customizing Siemens visual materials, changing lighting environments, adding your own lighting environments, setting up Appearance Manager, camera settings, and balancing quality versus performance in render settings. Let's get started. The manufacturer has opted to make the outer shell of the coffee machine from injection molded ABS plastic. You can learn more about creating the model in our previous video on designing in NX. For now, let's apply an ABS plastic SVM. Siemens Visual Materials, or SVM for short, follow the physically based rendering standard. In short, they're a physically accurate representation of how light will interact with a surface based on a set of parameters. Parameters can be numeric values, colors, or image files that are mapped across the surface of a model to change its overall appearance. NX Render comes bundled with over 1,000 presets for quickly and accurately adding materials to your model. All of the SVMs are organized in folders for convenient browsing, or we can search the library if we have a specific material in mind. To see how the materials will look on your model, we need to open Advanced Studio. This will give you a working idea of what your finished model will look like in real time before we move on to a final render stage. We can apply a material by dragging and dropping it onto the model, or we can select multiple parts and apply by right-clicking on the material in the sidebar. You should be able to quickly find a good starting material, and every SVM is customizable, so you can alter the color or finish to your specific requirements. Let's do that now. Enable and open Materials in Part, right-click your material and press Edit. In the basic SVM editor, we can change the base color of our material or the roughness of the surface and see the results update in real time. We can also change the editor level to intermediate or full, which gives us access to further settings for even more control over the appearance of our material. The manufacturer wants to highlight the coffee bean design on the corner of the machine with a different finish. To do this, we'll duplicate our material and edit the new copy. Clicking the box next to Bump will allow us to upload a normal map and give the impression of a bumpy surface without altering our geometry. Next, if we change our selection filter to Face, we can apply the new material to just this specific part of the bean design. There's also the option to save our material for reuse in other projects. As well as the red model, the manufacturer would like to offer several color variants of the coffee machine. This is where appearance management comes in. With it, we can set up several variants and switch between them without having to reapply the materials every time. To get started, click Load Schemes and then New Scheme. We'll name our scheme Red and then create another called Black. undocking the Scheme Navigator and docking it to the bottom of the window will help us see what's going on here. We'll create a designator, assign the parts of the coffee machine shell to it, and give it a description to make it clear which parts this will affect. Now, you can drag your SVMs into the material slot in each scheme and switch between them in the dropdown. It's as simple as that. All designators appear in all schemes, so you don't have to set them up again when you create a new one. Next, we'll set up a render camera. The simplest way to do this is by navigating around the viewport until you find an angle that you like, then right-clicking on cameras in the Part Navigator and clicking Create. The pop-up will give us a number of options for customizing our camera settings, and we can fine-tune its position in the viewport. There are several presets for focal length, but if none of them are quite right, you can manually dial it in using the Field of View slider. We can also change our depth of field, and in this case, we'd like a shallow one. To achieve this, enable the setting, choose a low aperture, and input a focus distance. In most cases, it's easiest to copy and paste this from the distance from target value. Now it's time to light our model. Accurate lighting is one of the biggest impacts on a render's photorealism, and NX Render comes with a selection of lighting environments to really show off your product. If you navigate to System Scenes on the left, you'll find a range of pre-configured environments sorted by indoor, outdoor, and studio. Double-clicking any of these will apply them to your scene. With the lighting environment set up, we're ready to see what NX Render can really do. Click on the icon underneath Advanced Studio to open a Ray Traced Studio window. What we're seeing here is a fully ray-traced render with accurate lighting, materials, and reflections powered by an industry-leading render engine. If the lighting needs tweaking here, we can open Scene Preferences and alter the HDR rotation, add a ground shadow, or change the intensity. There's also the option to use your own lighting image, and NX accepts both HDR and EXR formats. If you're running NX on a lower powered machine, there's the option to switch to a lower fidelity render preset here to speed things up while you make any final tweaks. This will automatically reduce the amount of time NX spends on things like indirect lighting and global illumination. Now is a good time to change our render preferences. We can change the output resolution of the image and set our completion criteria. When we're happy with our scene and settings, we just need to press Start Static Render. This will lock our view and render until it meets the completion criteria we just set. When the render is complete, we have the option to export in various image file formats and even enable transparency for formats that support it. And there we have it. We've taken our plain engineering data and made a compelling, beautiful image without the need for any external software. And with Appearance Manager, we can get multiple variations for design approval without having to set everything up again. As an NX add-on module, NX Render is available as and when you need it with value-based licensing. Speak to your Siemens account team to get started, or click the link in the description to see more exciting new features and enhancements from the June 2023 release of NX.